Happy Valentine Day.
Thank you.
I just want to like to add here, in the Bombay Toastmasters Club, being very supportive club and very supportive club member, like, it's not like making everyone special here. It's not only on this Valentine Day, but throughout the year. So I request you to give a big round of applause for our lovely Bombay Toastmasters Club and club members. Now let me share the vision of the Toastmaster. He provides supportive and learning environment in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, let's put all noise-making devices on silent mode or switch on mode so that we will not disturb others. I also request, please do not go out during meeting, and if you have to, please wait for the speaker to finish and applause. I also request not to indulge in self-talk as it may disturb the protocol. Just for your information, drinking water is on your left hand side corner table and washrooms are on the second floor, left side of the staircase. He is VP Education for Bombay Toastmasters. He is Toastmasters' favorite mentor, and needless to say, he is a very good orator. And he has, to his credit, Division Championship for the Humorous Speech Contest 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands to welcome our presiding officer, Hasnain Chandi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sergeant Toastmaster Nivedita, for that very flattering and non-deserving introduction. I declare we show 170 for Bombay Toastmasters. May I have a show of hands of all those people who have graced this meeting as guests today? I would like a couple of you to come over, introduce yourselves, take a minute to tell us how you heard about Bombay Toastmasters or Toastmasters International in general and what your expectations from this meeting are. May I call upon you, sir?
Hi, my name is Amardeep. The first time I'm here, there are a couple more introduced me to this Toastmasters Club. I did go to the international website and as well as the FTM website. And expectations, well, it's about public speaking. As you can see, I'm a bit close body language, so I'm not very comfortable on the public platform. So maybe this will help me in this, and nice meeting everybody here, and hope to make a lot of friends. Thank you.
At Toastmasters, there is a protocol that we follow, which is of taking charge and handing back charge. When the speaker is invited here, he shakes the hand of the person that has introduced, and then when he is finished, he hands charge back over to the other person. That can we help.
I was part of the Toastmasters Club long back, around 8 years back, so I knew about Toastmasters. And I wanted to join and this time I thought, the time just came right.
It is today my pleasant duty to present the award of repeated communication to one of our members, a very regular member so far. Hope that she will continue to maintain regularity. Toastmaster Pratibha, would you please come over and also my present duty to induct 3 or 4 new members to our club formally and request Toastmaster Shintij, Toastmaster Shabir, Toastmaster Vikram and that is present. He's absent. And yes please, if you come up. When anybody joins the Toastmaster Club, he is making a commitment to self-development. But not only is a member committed to develop his own self, he should also be committed to developing the club, every member of the club, and he should be committed to the organization as a whole. I will ask you all to raise your right hands, and when I declare a promise, I would like you to say that will be your response. Please raise your right hand. As a member of Toastmasters International and your club, do you promise to attend all club meetings regularly? I do. To prepare all of your speeches to the best of your ability, basing them on projects, communication manual, the leadership program, all the advanced and leadership program manuals.
I do.
To willingly prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
I do.
To provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations.
I do.
To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow.
I do.
To willingly serve your club as an officer when called upon to do so.
I do.
To treat your fellow club members and your guests with respect and courtesy.
I do.
To bring guests to the club meeting so that they can see the benefit of Toastmasters, to see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs,
I do.
to maintain honest and highly ethical standards during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
I do.
Thank you very much. You are formally inducted as Toastmasters of Bombay Toastmasters. And these are your values. All the very best. This is for Shintij. Congratulations. And your manual is on the way. Thank you very much. A typical Toastmasters Club meeting is divided into 3 segments: a debate speech round, a table topics round, and an evaluation round. To begin the meeting proper, we will call upon a Toastmaster who is not only an avid Toastmaster, he is serving the role of a grammarian today. He will be keeping note, but he will be telling you about his roles in a short while from now. This gentleman is a very regular Toastmaster, avid Toastmaster, and he is always willing to help the Toastmasters Club in whatever capacity he is called upon to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands to welcome Toastmaster Neeraj.
Good evening all. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to listen to everything said during the meeting and to note and report any particularly effective use of grammar and or any grammatically incorrect speech. As a grammarian, it is also my task to present the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is cynosure, which means something that strongly attracts the attention. So it goes with the An example of using the word is Virat is in demand and has become cynosure of all eyes within and outside India. In order to qualify for the award for best table topic speaker, each table topic speaker must use the word of the day during his or her contemporaneous speech. I will give the word of the day report and grammatical usage report whenever called for. Thank you.
The equivalent Today's meeting, the senator of all guys, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rahul.
14th day of month of February is being celebrated all across the world by presenting their love for us, chocolates, the flowers, and other lovely gifts. It's the one way of expressing the love. Origin of this day goes 1,000 years back. It was a clash between the mighty emperor and a saint. A Valentine who died 1,000 years back. It began in Rome when the emperor Claudius II wanted to have a big army. He appealed to the people of Rome to join the army. But the men just do not wanted to fight a battle, leaving their family and wives. This made the emperor very furious, and he came up with a crazy idea. He thought that if people are not married, then they will not mind to join the army. So he decided not to allow any more marriages in the country. However, a good saint, Valentine, defied Claudius and keep performing marriages in secret. When Valentine's activities were discovered, he was caught and put behind the bars. Later on, he was sentenced to death. However, it was believed that during his imprisonment, Valentine fell in love with a young girl who was jailer's wife. Sorry, jailer's daughter. Who was jailer's daughter. And before his death on 14th February, he has written a letter to her saying that keep aside 14th February as a day of honor to be honored. Post that the 14th February is celebrated not only in Europe but all across the world. By giving this small background on Valentine's Day, I'll start with the proceedings of this meeting. Toastmaster meetings happens in 3 segments. The first segment is called prepared speeches, where members are prepared and deliver the speeches based on the speech objectives. The second segment is called the table topics round, where the members and guests can participate and will have 2 minutes time to deliver the table topic session. And the third segment is called the evaluation, where the evaluator evaluate the speech based on the speech objectives, and they also give a written and a oral feedback to the speaker. You also have evaluation sheets on your desk, so every member has an opportunity to evaluate the speaker first. With this, I would like to introduce my expert team who will help me in presenting today's meeting. The first role player tonight is Toastmaster Andrew. He is a R counter only. R counter only takes care of the R's and counts to the left. So please welcome Toastmaster Andrew for explaining the role of the R counter.
Valentine's Day to all of you. My duty as an counter is to listen attentively to each speaker. I will make a note of the following issues used by the speaker. A crutch sounds like Filler words like what, like, so, okay. Filler phrases like you know and so, etc. Extremely long process. And when I will be called upon, my report will be given. I will give an account of these speaking errors. Thank you.
Our second role player is a timer for the day. Toastmaster Shabir. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster.
Good evening, everyone. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As a timer, my duty is to time prepare speeches, table topics, and speech evaluations during this meeting. I'll demonstrate what I'll be doing. When the speaker reaches the minimum time allotted, I'll display the green card. When the speaker reaches the midpoint of meeting or after the red card is displayed to end the speech in order to qualify for the vote. Before qualifying times were called for. Thank you.
Now we go to prepared speeches. Prepared speeches is something like presenting a chocolate. The taste lingers even after the speaker completes his speech. The first speaker tonight is Amit Kumar. When I asked him, what does Valentine's Day means to you? He said, Valentine's Day is a day to make his beloved wife feel more special. Before I invite Toastmaster Amit, I will request his evaluator Toastmaster Pratibha to read the speech objectives of Into Speech.
The objectives of the speech are appropriate outline which allow listeners to easily follow and understand your speech. Make your message clear with supporting material directly, contributing to that message. Use appropriate transitions when moving from one idea to another. Create a strong opening and conclusion. Time 5 to 7 minutes.
Thanks, Mr. Pratibha. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Amit Kumar. His speech title is Broken Promise. Broken Promise by Toastmaster Amit Kumar.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster and guests. My goal for 2015 is to accomplish the goal of 2014, which I promised them in 2013 and planned them in 2012. So many of you have taken New Year resolutions. Whether your New Year resolution is turning into broken promises or not. Whether you are achieving your New Year resolutions every year or not. Common New Year resolution is related to like losing your weight, stop smoking, quit smoking, stop drinking alcohol, improve financial health. It is list goes on. But how many of us is able to keep our New Year resolution for the whole 365 days? The study says that 80% people do not achieve their New Year resolutions. The question is why? Why we do not achieve New Year resolution and fall in the category of 80% people? Maybe because of we see unrealistic goals, lack of motivations, maybe accountability. Toastmaster Atul has done one good job during the eve of New Year. He has requested all the Toastmasters to write your New Year resolution and share with friends. Many of us have exchanged our New Year resolutions with other Toastmasters, but few of them kept all New Year resolutions with themselves, including me. Because I don't want to be accountable to all. So to achieve New Year resolutions, it starts from accountability only. You have to declare what's your New Year resolution publicly. Maybe your friends, colleagues, office colleagues, at home. So the point starts from here. First you take the blank sheet, large sheet of paper and write your New Year resolutions and put in one of the prominent place of your house. Maybe in hall, so that all the guests will come and see your New Year resolutions. Whether you are achieving them or not, we will definitely keep track on you. Like my 3 New Year resolutions for 2015 is do not agree on PT issues with wife. Second one was develop a good rapport with boss. And third one was to qualify and subject to UW or PhD. But achieving these 3 New Year resolutions is definitely a Herculean few tasks. So today I have declared all of you that this is my New Year resolutions to make accountable so that you can keep your close eyes on me whether I am able to achieve these 3 New Year resolutions for 2015 or not. So that we can fall in the category of 8% people, those who make New Year resolutions and achieve them. Second aspect is make only one resolution. You can see I have already taken 3 New Year resolutions. That is one of the biggest mistakes. According to the study, it says that you should make only one New Year resolution so that you can channelize all your energy to achieve that particular aspect of your behavior. So from next year onwards, you reduce your resolutions to single point. Third one is be specific. Many times we take New Year resolutions like we will go for running for 2 days of the week. But this sentence should change to like we will go for running on Saturday and Sunday of the week exactly at 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Be specific in your resolution so that you can achieve. Being a Valentine Day, one of the important aspects is to love more. This is not a New Year resolution, but this resolution should go for each passing day. Everyone feels that to love more is very easy job, but this is one of the difficult tasks in front of all the humanities of the world that starts from India and reach across the globe in Antarctica. So it is not necessary to change your life when New Year will come. In order to change your life, you must make some alteration can be and must be done immediately, because ultimate goal of taking New Year resolution is to improve our life in coming years. And the January and February month is the most failure month of New Year resolutions. So I feel these 2 months is the best time to sow the seeds of achieving New Year resolutions. Thank you.
Feedback sheets are on your desk. Please take 30 seconds to give the feedback. Everybody has the feedback sheets. Please take 30 seconds to fill the feedback, and you can give the feedback to Amit Kumar within the She describes herself as a family and friendly person. For her, Valentine's Day is one more opportunity to express her gratitude for all the love. Before I invite Toastmaster Nivedita, I request her speech evaluator Toastmaster Rizwan to read the speech objectives of project.
Toastmaster Nivedita is giving her P4 speech, which is how to say. The objective of the speech is to select the right words and sentence structure, to communicate your ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly, use rhetoric devices to enhance and emphasize ideas, eliminate jargon and unnecessary words, use correct grammar. Time 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
Thanks so much. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Nivedita. Her speech title is Made in Heaven. Made in Heaven by Toastmaster Nivedita.
Bollywood couple, Simo Shure, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, engaged to each other after 7 years and 6 kids together. In Western societies, the live-in relationship is very common. But nowadays, even in India, more and more people don't feel the need to tie the knot. Shutting the stifling and suffocating entanglement of the knot, today's young generation is quite practical and independent. They don't need elaborate ceremonies or your certified papers to prove the world that they are in love. While some are more worrying about that their marriages will change the relationship for the worse. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest, marriages are not only made in heaven, they are celebrated there. So what has caused this change in the attitude? Are we blindly adopting the promiscuous lifestyle of the West? Or is there some merit in doing away with this institution of marriage? All traditional elements are debatable when it comes to institutionalizing something as simple as relationship. What exactly happens when two people get married? Absolutely nothing. They just agree to each other, which is already mutually acceptable. That's it. We live in the era of liberalism. We live in the era where the liberalism is an ideological force whereby there is a greater deal of emphasis on the need to do what we feel is right rather than to do something blindly as per the tradition. And with this, the whole institution of marriage has as much as relevance as people attach to it. People love each other and want to marry one another can easily do so without having to go through all rituals formalizing their relationship. And from this point of view, the whole dance of marriage is a farce. More so, Generation Y don't even agree that it takes marriage to raise a child. Only parenting to raise a child and not marriage. More so, women today are more comfortable economically as well as culturally to bring up a child without any recognizable commitment from man. Gone are the days when women stayed and suffered silently the slings and arrows of soulless and loveless marriage. Today she is free from the false fears of the society. She is financially independent and she is successful. She is with complete knowledge that she is a successful single parent for children. In case of martial discord, these modern maidens move away unhesitatingly. So today women are quite capable of not only managing themselves but bringing up themselves without leaning on the shoulders of man. With every divorce, both the parties willingly violate the vows they took. That itself shows you how respect they are showing to this institution of marriage and how little power it has. Nowadays, the number of cases of divorces are increasing rapidly. We have many examples right from our own neighborhood, Bollywood, with the most recent example of famous superstar Hrithik Roshan's separation from his beloved wife, Susan Khan, after 13 years of marriage and 17 years of togetherness. One positive thing is that Today, parents are becoming open-minded and such topics are getting discussed openly. Today, parents want their children to think for themselves and they stand by their decisions. While some parents even don't want their children to go into marriages unless and until they think it is right for them. If this continues, I am sure there will be few marriages of convenience and more relationship based on trust, love and companionship. It's not only parents, but I think even older generation is also embracing this change in the thought process. They also don't want to left behind in this fast-pacing world. So the question remains, will marriage as a concept will survive? One small change in the ecological system, the dreaded dinosaur disappeared from the surface of Earth. One small change has threatened the dinosaur-like system. So will marriage survive the torrent blast of winds of change that are sweeping away the mindscapes? Or like phoenix, will it reverse back, like phoenix from the ashes, revert back and soar and serve as a bedrock for all the hierarchical relationship, on which all the hierarchical relationships thrive? Only time will tell. Over to you.
Please take 30 seconds to feel the feedback. Our next speaker describes himself as foodie, and I think the entire PTM knows it, and many other clubs also knows it. When I asked him what does Valentine Day means to you, and it was a very, the response what I got was quite a unique response. He says that it's a marketing excellence. Foreigners came and hard sold a concept, and we Indians played into their hands. We should have guts to go and sell Indian festivals abroad. I'll request Toastmaster Natarajan to read the speech objectives of Project 5.
Speakers attempting Project 5 in the competency your body speaks. The objectives of the speech are to use stance, movement, gesture, facial expression, and eye contact to express your message and achieve your speech's purpose. Make your body language smooth and natural. And 5 to 7 minutes.
Please you put your hands together for Toastmaster Manish. His speech title is All.
Good evening. November 29, 2014, the day Kavya completed 10 years. In the run-up to that particular day, 4 months before, she would attend those innumerable birthday parties and come home telling us about the themes they had, be it Snow White or pirates. And I would think to myself, she's only describing the good time she's had there. Lightning struck in early November when she came up to me and asked, Papa, what theme are you planning for my birthday party? I was all at sea. As a child, my parents decided the birthday party, but the theme was unheard of. Cutting a cake and inviting friends was all that I knew about. Times sure have changed. Wake up and smell the coffee, Manish. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. enjoy the time capsule ride. If music be the food of love, play on, said William Shakespeare. Gone are the days when we would strain our ears to listen to Amin Sayani on Radio Ceylon, playing his Binaka Geetmala on shortwave. As a child, I always thought that Amin Sayani was someone from Ceylon and was sitting there and playing all the music. Now, we have a plethora of FM stations, and Kavya, having met Malishka, insists only on listening to 93.5 Red FM. I, for one, prefer the soulful melodies sung by Kishore Kumar, composed by my favorite Panchamda, with those meaningful lyrics. But today, when Kavya and my nephew sing Char Bottle Vodka, I can only hang my head in shame. Dance. Dance was a form of art, what with the classical types teaching you not just movement of your hands, but also your fingers. Expressions using your eyes. Now, we have the Shamak Gawars and other styles, which honestly, to me, mean nothing more than aerobic exercises put to rhythm. Oh, and how could I forget? We also have Lungi dance, an extremely atrocious yet very popular dance style. Telephones. I doubt if this generation has ever seen a telephone instrument with a rotary dial. But I do hope you have noticed these black contraptions they show in those antique Hindi movies. Yes, I am from that generation. In those days, we did not even have direct dial facility. You had to book a trunk call, pay double for an urgent call, and 8 times for a lightning call. During the rains, we had something called delayed dial tone. All you had to do is lift the handset and hold on to it for 2 minutes when saying a silent prayer, just so that you get the dial tone. Now, you have the mobile phone. No delay, no dial tones, no delays whatsoever, and no cost to worry about. But when I talk to my sister on the phone, Kavya thinks it's so down market. She insists on using FaceTime to talk to my sister. Why? So she can flaunt her new dress, her new shoes, trinkets, and also some new dance step that she's picked up from an upcoming Bollywood flick. Letters. One thing that I would wish returns for the good of all. I have been to pen friendship since 1982 and continue to maintain my contacts with all my friends. In those days, we used to write letters to each other. And I distinctly remember my longest letter was 22 pages, written to my friend in Australia. She responded back by recording her response on an audio cassette. We exchanged stamps, coins, banknotes, and built our collections. We also picked up some weird hobbies. I, for one, collected and still collect postcards, knives, forks, spoons from airlines. That was before 9/11 happened. Now we only have plastic knives and forks. Kavya, I doubt, will ever enjoy the experience of letter writing. Their generation is so much electronically connected. What with email, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter. Let me admit, I actually know of her entire homework even before she has reached home, as enthusiastic parents have posted it all over WhatsApp. Their birthday parties are all decided on WhatsApp, complete with the invitation cards. Parents beam pictures and videos live from the party itself, as if someone were to hang you if you did it 4 hours later. Friends, we live in this weird, wired world where everyone is technologically connected. This generation is far more ahead of us than we were at that time. It's time for us not to plead ignorance. We cannot say ignorance is like a delicate exotic fruit. Touch it and the bloom is gone. We have to change with the times, or else our children will move ahead and we will probably be left stranded saying, I'm all shook up. All you understand.
It's time to fill the feedback and hand it over to Manish. The next speaker is Toastmaster Sienna, and for her Valentine's Day is nothing. Are you sure? Do you want it to change? Because she believes that if you truly love someone, every day is Valentine. Before I invite Toastmaster Sienna, I request Toastmaster Parag to read the speech objective of the CD5 speech.
Good evening. Toastmaster Sienna is presenting an ACB 5 speech, which is the project 3 from the Advanced Communication Series, Facilitating Discussion Manual. The objectives of the speech are: discuss the 3 ideas generated in project 2, determine which one best resolves the problem, and she has opted for the optional time of 19 to 23 minutes. Thank you.
Thanks, Parag. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Sienna. Her speech title is Ideas Impart Plan Smart. Ideas Impart Plan Smart from Toastmaster Sienna.
A very good evening, Mr. TMOD, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Before I begin, I would just like to know how many of you were present for my previous speech of 20 minutes about facilitating discussions. Okay, I just like to give an overview of it. What we were discussing is about the meeting cost, and an average meeting cost of Bombay Toastmasters comes up to 4,000 rupees. And
digitally, it's not just us.
But we do not know how many people will renew every term, so we need to increase on a general level. How many cost 4,000 as suggested by me? 10%. Okay. And what do you think will be the impact on the current members? Would they drop out? Would they continue?
It won't be much since it's only 360 rupees for 400 rupees more for 6 months. It's not sure it now. 200 years.
200.
Yes, suggestions you can add some other elements like one or two additional suggestions where members will get more knowledge, having more knowledge. If that is fitting in our schedule.
Add 1 or 2 additional sessions.
Yeah.
I don't know, the club has the option to split the payment into two parts, so you don't have to pay all the amount at once, like just half, and then other amount after 3 months.
It's already split up like the year into 1, 6 months.
But you can split up the order.
Probably we can consider that.
It will be easy to do.
And what do you think about the new members coming in with the new cost?
They won't be knowing the update of these also.
Except the guest present here. Okay, with this we move on to our second point, having an alternate venue with the lower costs.
No, I don't like that.
So you have,
No, we did try, but honestly, no, we felt flat.
Unless we get, sorry.
And maybe we can use Skype call so that we don't have to talk to a venue. We all sit at our home and meeting is on.
we are not so much.
Virtual meeting.
We don't want to take so much from the West and make this term.
Unless we can get an equally good venue at a lower price, we can't think about that process. Because like when we say we explore alternate avenues of putting on different venues, but it's not happened so far. And what I have observed is that if we have a venue which is not as
The ambience is not as good as
this one, then you could probably have a larger dropout rate and a lower conversion rate.
I guess venue has to be good, which is probably we can't compromise on the amenities or other things just to
choose the cost.
This is number of members.
It's global, it's global.
So you should have more expenses, just as more members will have.
Right, one of the things we can increase the membership. But then people also are dropping off.
Where increasing the subscription is concerned, I think we have understood the fact that when you become a member of any particular club, you're not just a member of that club, you're welcome to attend many more meetings. And in fact, there are more than 6 to 7 meetings held all over Bombay per week. If we can sell that idea, they would probably feel they're getting better value for them.
In fact, but Hassan, I would always want to consider my home club because I'm making a payment to the home club. So whatever the other clubs are doing is fine, but home club
You're
matters.
still free to attend those and sharpen your disease skills and management skills.
Yeah, I think what Hussein meant is like take advantage of your home club and take extra advantage what you're getting from the other clubs.
Instead of dividing it into 600 X number of meetings, you can divide that by X multiplied by 7 meetings.
Yeah.
I would like to continue with what Ismail said. I bought a guest couple of 4 months back. He joined immediately and he's an entrepreneur. He has a factory in China. He went to China last week. He was attending a Toastmaster club meeting. So he texted me that I'm in a Toastmaster club meeting. So the Toastmaster is so big. It is a worldwide organization. I think the kind of benefits one can get at a 4,000 rupees for 6 months is nothing.
See, the thing I would like to say is the marketing concept that we are only concentrating on the public speaking part of our club. There are so many advantages of people coming here, networking from people from so many varied industries and skills. Basically, that is something which we need to project into our club subscription or membership, which is a marketing requirement. A lot of people want to know a lot of other things apart from public speaking.
Yeah,
I think it is very important.
Yeah, it is 1,000 rupees per hour. Yeah.
For every fraction of the hour also. So for example, if we wind up at 8:30 or 8:15, we still charge from 8 to 9.
If you could, as a Toastmaster club, to use this premises as well, so could our rent price go?
Club meetings.
I mean, another club like the Dark, maybe some others, they are looking for premises, but they could use this premise as well. That's in another days, not like maybe Sundays.
But then
Together you can
That's we hire the value only for the meeting, for the duration of the meeting.
Yeah.
Like as I said, plus or minus half an hour from the time of start and the time of end of the meeting. So
It's like 1,000 rupees per hour. If they use it on another day, they pay separately.
they will also have to pay that much.
What will be paying lump sum in the beginning of 6 months to the venue?
No, this venue is available only on every time you have to book it separately. It's not for
No, he's not talking about the booking, he's talking about the payment.
Payments. Then if you pay in advance, like 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, you pay in advance, and then things sort
What happens is the college when it's closed and all, it's not available.
So we
Yeah, we don't want to
foresee that amount if we don't do
but also that
you can always keep on adjusting this much.
you
I would like to
can
answer Virendra's point. We had thought about it, we had approached management also, but problem at our side is we have 2 OTPs in a year and we do not have dates fixed. Another thing, we have our contests, we do not have dates fixed. So in case if we pay that amount in advance, we cannot change dates as per our facility because other groups or other lectures are set as per their convenience. So in that scenario, we either have to pay extra or we just have to skip that. That's the reason we cannot go for that.
What is the average cost that is paid for every session?
So every meeting we spend about 4,000 rupees.
Roughly around 4,000, because there is a similar kind of conference in a university, it charges around 2,500 and it's for the entire day. I think the building is ICWR, if you want I can just check it out and
That could be another way of doing, like everyone around here could find out a venue which we could look at. That would be a better way of doing it. If someone knows about some good place, put in their ideas.
And if he's having a suggestion also, as you said, he can club in 2 clubs and work out something like that. If anyone else also has any venues in mind or comes across, you can always let us
It
know.
doesn't have to be in Villavalia or Santa Cruz, it can be anywhere.
So you can check with Velinkers and Radha. I don't know if you have tried because they also probably would have the same seating management, which will be a perfect or ideal for our meeting.
And if you have options, it's just like a leverage for the management. Maybe you wouldn't be leave this place, but you say that you have this option and you will go there, then you increase the price of this, and they can lose this money.
But one factor we need to keep in mind that if we should say value rather in public people have suggested BPM because it was less high. So it may be, it has to be something nearby.
Let's first look at the venue.
I'm giving suggestion that there could be one factor which needs to be kept. Actually, I don't think so we tried an alternate value last year and the other for one meeting and the feedback a year back, and then be part of the process. Testimonials. So testimonials on the website, testimonials in community, but if you are running out to do better. So when you talk about the experience of Toastmasters, what the class is like. So one is even if you increase the fees, even the Pratibha, both existing members as well as members who are coming in and joining. So they that will offset the increase in price. The other thing is obviously in testimonials, members could actually speak about the place, the venue, the heritage, the stage. So again, I've been part of this club when we were meeting in mind and then we were meeting here. The stage, facing so many people here, has made a difference to my speaking ability and my confidence when I go outside of the Toastmasters. People could do testimonials and talk about the value they brought to the Toastmasters experience. Regardless of venue, cost, price, obviously someone who wants to pay that kind of money to be able to overcome public speaking, the fear of public speaking, which everybody obviously has that somewhere in the back of their mind or their system.
Today I would have said we actually know the deficit of how much the amount is. I think we would be able to come to better plans. Right now we are 60 members. Yeah, about 50 members. So it was 56.
56 as of date.
56.
And how many come on the regular basis?
Yeah, that's another question. Yes, but then you obviously pay for the entire set so whether they come or not. But what happens is that the deficit you cannot actually tell because we don't know how many will renew. We cannot say how many will renew. Like in the last, a lot of people did not renew. We need to take into long-term consideration.
In the last this, actually, my children in school, they asked us whether we stay in school like a year before.
Okay.
Yeah, the ambience, we have to have fine line between ambience and the cost. Just for ambience, we cannot expect to have a deficit. If we find another venue which has a reasonably good ambience, and maybe it may not be as good as this, but we can still make an informed decision whether we can move there. Yeah, because ambience is not the criteria for this club. It's basically having the opportunity to have a reasonably good venue with the public speaking opportunity.
But that way, like I pointed out, that is certainly have some bearing on who is coming as a member or somebody who is not.
Why is he coming? Is he coming for speaking or is he coming for the ambience?
I know, absolutely, but we are so.
Yeah, reasonable. You don't.
Not everybody is so reasonable.
No, the point is, when you talk about ambience, are you talking about the AC, are you talking about the quality of chair or the quality of snacks? If you are talking about ambience, you are talking about the overall spacious arrangement of the room, the fact that you have a large enough stage and you have a dais where you can actually go and address people.
For snacks,
That's the only thing that ambience. We could make the quality of the air conditioning.
Okay, that's actually okay, we move on to the next point and we come back to this later. The third point, what we have to discuss is speech craft. How many of you are aware what is a speech craft? Can I see a show of hands? Speech craft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll just give a brief about it. It's a program designed to allow non-members to have a Toastmaster experience. It is conducted for either college students or some an organization for a group of about 10 people. A course of 6 to 8 sessions covering P1 to P6 of the CC manual, table topics, and various roles of the CL manual like grammarian, accountant, timer. These members can then join another club or they can form a club by themselves. So when we conduct these speech crafts, these people they pay a certain amount of fees for that, about 3,000, 4,000 rupees. So that amount of those 10 people gets accumulated into our club account. So by conducting such speech crafts, also we can add our club's income as another alternative to basic funds or finding another venue. So, but for these we would require Toastmasters to give their time and help out in conducting these sessions. Also in finding groups who would be interested in such kind of sessions. So what's your opinion on this?
They are conducted on the premises of the schools or colleges.
Yeah, these sessions are conducted on their premises. They have to get a venue for the session.
It could be organizations also.
It could be organizations also.
Right.
As long as they have their venue.
I think it's a good idea because you also advertise Toastmaster to other people.
It's a good marketing.
That is the main aim of the speech craft.
one?
Since we are getting so much from Toastmasters, we are also very thinking that.
But is a club actually doing the entire thing, or is it a bunch of individuals who are doing it?
Probably like there are 6 sessions. 3 members or 4 members can go for the first, another 4 for the second, something like that.
So the payment comes directly to the club by the members or by the organization?
It depends on how they are doing. Either the organization, how they want it. Either the member pays for themselves.
Yeah, I think that's the organization hires Toastmasters for the speech craft, pays the club that they can use that particular speech craft. It's a good way to market for organization.
There's something called as trainers forum. There are some thousands of trainers part of it. It's an online community. Probably we can, in fact, our first president of the Bombay Toastmasters is the founder of Trainers Forum, Arun Vishwanath. So we can probably talk to him and we can just, post this that speech draft is available and this is how it is. So because a lot of trainers forum, it's an online community. Arun Vishwanath. So through them at least they have their website as well. So we can get some kind of, publicity that, okay, such thing exists. A lot of trainers look for such opportunity.
Good idea. We need to get people.
There are a lot of new trainers who want to get this public speaking fear out of them. So it's
And probably since this is a
good idea.
long thing, somebody wants something short, this is a good option for them.
But isn't speech lab limited to people who are not eligible to become Toastmasters because of their age?
No. It's open to all.
And 6 sessions.
It's like basically come and experience what is Toastmasters.
6 sessions.
6 sessions.
So can we do this in schools as well?
But then they cannot join the Toastmasters. Colleges are preferable.
No, but schools there is something called as, what I understand is there is another Toastmasters club available for kids.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, club. So
We can do it at schools and then they can probably join.
So at least that, basically we create an awareness in the school when the kids are in school that there is such platform available. Their parents are also available. So if we approach schools directly to principals and all, if we just send out letters to them explaining what speech craft is all about, probably we'll get some mileage out of it.
I think the benefits are more publicity side than regularly. The cost benefit for a speech craft project would result, I think, in
You just have a show of hands. How many are in? You can raise your hand for any one of the 3 options. How many are in for increasing the cost?
fees, not
Increasing the fees. Sorry, I'm sorry. Increasing the fees.
And reducing the
Okay,
cost.
confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So for option 1, we have 15 people. The second option is an alternate venue. How many are in for an alternate venue? From the ones who have not raised their hands.
But why?
No,
Raise your hands for each one.
No, invalid vote.
Yeah, invalid vote.
It's a second.
How many of you have done elections when you go
Please take 30 seconds for giving the feedback. I request Toastmaster Shafir to please come forward and present his strategy.
So I'll just give a time motivation. That's to everyone. And then Toastmaster Amit Kumar to 6 minutes 8 seconds. Then Toastmaster Nivedita, she took 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Toastmaster Manish took about 6 minutes 34 seconds. And Sienna was very short, like it was 14 minutes 40 seconds. Yes, I think I just made a mistake here.
No, that is actually 40
So it's a mistake from my side. It should be 24.
Okay, so okay, everybody has qualified. So the ballot sheets are there on your desk. So you can choose one best prepared speaker. You can vote for best speaker. Now we are moving to the next segment of this meeting, that is called table topics or impromptu speaking, where members and guests will have an opportunity to come and speak on the topic given by the table topic master for 2 minutes. I will share my personal experience why this thing is very important. On this particular day, 14 February, I went to the date with one particular during my college time. And no table topics, no impromptu speaking, I don't know what to say. I asked her, what is your weight? And that was the end of it. So I think it's table topic is something which helps you to build the impromptu speaking. When I asked the table topic speaker about describing himself, he told me he is an MBA. So I was thinking, what is an MBA? He told me that is married, but I will. So please welcome Toastmaster Ashwin.
Guys, the camera is on. I'm going to shot.
Do you all know this song? Yes. Sorry? Yes. Wow! A big round of applause. This song has some sweet memories. I have some sweet memories. I like the girl when this film released. And every time I used to see her, this song, I don't know how, but it used to be at the background. I don't know. I mean, there was nobody actually doing this, or there was no instruments and all, but somehow I just used to get this feeling. Anyway, so good old memories. So we all know today is Valentine's Day. Wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. Wishes for married men, आज हनुमान जयंती Today, you must have all heard about heartbeats. But with great pain, share with you all my hard bites. So anything for the hard bites? Sure. Okay. So I'll just quickly explain you what table topics is all about. As Rahul said, that table topics is all about impromptu speaking, thinking on your feet. So are you really bored?
I'm looking forward to that. I'm staring at it.
So I don't know passing this side.
Right.
You get it right?
So it's all about thinking on your feet and speaking. And the rule of the game is you have to speak at least for a minute. Minimum 1 minute. So you want me to call you on, or you want to raise your hands and... Ah, great, fantastic. Because I'm going to give you a topic. I don't have chicks. So, the topic is, you want to read it out?
I think we can.
I should read it. I just want to ask him, would you be in a lending position or a borrowing position? Borrowing. So the statement is, can I borrow a kiss? I promise I will give it back. Can I borrow a kiss? I promise I'll give it back. Go ahead.
A few years ago, when I was unmarried, I met a friend of mine, and he was holding his wife's hand and walking in the park. I was so happy to see him. I said, wow, your love life is going on very well. He took me to a bottle and said, Anand, earlier when I was holding my hand, it was love. But now, when I hold my hand, it's self-defense. I said, why? What happened? She attracted you like a magnet when you were in the college. Yes, but after marriage I discovered there is one big difference between magnet and wife. What is that? Magnets have positive side. Oh. I was interested. What to do? Should I marry or I shouldn't? Then I got married. I thought, after all, happiness is not the only thing. Everybody should enjoy all sides of coin. I married, and I discovered after one and a half years, there's one similarity between wife and mother. Mother brings you to this world while crying, and wife has yours to continue to do so. I tried to learn, tried to understand what's that which can turn it around and realize that there are two things. If we give, if we lend, we can borrow. If we borrow, we can lend. And that is, give attention all the time. All the time? Yes, all the time. You must give attention to your wife all the time. And secondly, make her solution of your life. That is, make her number one lady in your life. And life will never be the same again. You borrow and lend and borrow. It works. Doesn't matter which way you want to borrow.
Thank you so much, Anand, for enlightening us about the borrowing and the lending part of marriage. So, who's next? Mr. Muslim.
Why did you call me by my name?
Sorry?
Why did you call me by my name?
You want me to call you by your girlfriend's name?
No, by mine.
Mr. Muslim is your name? Hussain. Muslim is your surname, right? Okay.
Hussain.
Yeah. So, your fools fall in love, and I guess I'm one of them. Only fools fall in love.
Falling in love, ultimately, you fall and you have to get married. My view is either you can be married or you can be happy. So, as men are concerned, I'd like to ask anyone, is anyone happily married? Either you can be happy or you can be married. Happily married, no hands on it. So, like to avoid coming for the table topics. They are sitting there.
No dinner tonight. It's on YouTube this evening. Next. Srinivas. So your options are, there are no options. People say you can't live without love. I think oxygen is more important. So people say you can't live without love. I think oxygen is important. I agree to the statement. I think you can, it's difficult to live without love because as a human being, there are a bundle of emotions, whether it is love, like, anxiety, anger. There's some either a positive emotion or a negative emotion. And each one of us feel good, great when you are loved by your mother, girlfriend, wife, sister, or so love is very important. At the same time, we also live, there are so many millions of people in this world which are not being loved, but still they live because of the oxygen. So the oxygen is probably the most important thing. Then probably the love comes next. Right? To live a quality life, you need love. To just to live, oxygen is enough. Right? I think when it comes to my personal life, because there's good amount of oxygen here, you have life, and I'm equally glad and fortunate to have a good network of people, whether it is Toastmasters or family life or many other things. We've been fortunate enough to get love from all the corners of life. So what's going on? So there's a card. Thank you so much. A friend of mine used to like a girl, and I don't know why I was chosen to be the messenger to fix the meeting. And we all, both of us decided, so how I do approach her, how I do speak to her and all. And everything was ready. The venue was decided, terrace of building. And he went. And he was so scared that he asked her, how were your exams? And her reply was, that's none of your business. So that's how we come across a lot of situations like this. I'm sure all men would agree. They may have come across this situation where they like so many girls, but it's always a one-way traffic. Nobody likes in that. Have you? Yeah. So, may I request Madam Toastmaster? Meenakshi. My heart fighting. So Meenakshi, don't break someone's heart. They have only one. Break their bones, they have 106 of them.
It's just a personal experience I wanted to share. In the year of 2009, I used to work for Sipla. That time, like suddenly I felt I need to reduce my weight. And I want to come to the normal weight. Okay, so I joined the gym. And the first day when I had been there, like one trainer was given a training and it was totally, like the first day only he told me you have to do the chin up. Chin up is something where you have to hold the bar, you have to lift your self up with your entire weight. So I did it, like I was thinking, okay, I need to do this. Like I got very much enthusiastic, but I wanted to, reduce and all, I wanted to show off, yes, I can also do this, let's see. And I did it 10 counts. In the next morning, I find that my hands were paining like anything. And when I visited my doctor, he said, hey, your muscle got weird. What did you do? I said, sir, it's chin up. Well, the doctor said, please don't do this for another 10 days. Actually, right after 2 or 3 days, I had a launch meeting. Because of the, muscle tear, I was not able to do my presentation. Actually, I had a launch meeting. I had almost around 200 guys were there. I had to give a, entire marketing strategy presentation. One side it was really paining. My God, I will never ever do this. Then after completing all the things, I had been to the gym and I found the person who were instructing the trainers what type of training should be given for the newcomers. The end of the day, I need to fight with him and I told him what training that you are giving. So you need to analyze and understand, whether the member did do that particular training or not in the day one, whether you can do that or not and all those things. We had a long fight. So I told him, you should not break my bones. And in the fight process, then we got married and so my darling husband, Manish. Thank you.
Can I call for you? Yes. Would you like to come? My heart is right.
I will take up.
No, you can't take this. This is an energy booster. Yeah. So, what's your name? Parinita. So, Parinita, are you married? Good. Marriage is a workshop where husband works and wife shops.
Marriage. First of all, good evening to all and happy Valentine Day to everybody. And my topic is marriage is a workshop where husband works and wife shops. Actually, I'm not married, so it is really difficult for me to talk on this, but still, I've got my way. So you can see that marriage is a beautiful institution.
so funny. You still don't have a girlfriend? The boy says, why don't you become one? She said, see, I told you you're so funny. So can we have our member breaker?
Yay.
Okay, no problem.
Valentine's Day, you know.
So, which is the actress or personality that you would like in film industry? Female.
Yes, of course. Madhuri Dixit.
Madhuri Dixit, you don't like it?
This is the reach.
Sorry?
Madhuri Dixit.
You don't like that? Okay. So, think that Madhuri Dixit comes to you and she asks you, do you love me? And there are three options. Option A, yes. Option B, option A. And option C, option B.
Am I supposed to answer? First of all, Madhuri Dixit coming and asking, do you love me? Is a not question. But why when he asked me the personality in Bollywood that you hate, and I said Madhuri Dixit, everybody said, I think that's... I'll make you more jealous. Madhuri Dixit looks like my school principal. So I was this old when I saw Madhuri Dixit for the first time. But she was monster. She was a monster of a principal. Now imagine your school principal coming and asking you, do you love me? Now I was looking for option yes, then A, then B. You will have to give me more options. Because the answer is none of them.
With that, we come to the end of the session on table topics. Can we have the timers report, please?
My timings for table topic speakers are Toastmaster Anand, he took 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
2 minutes, 19 seconds.
And Toastmaster Hussain, he took 59 seconds.
2 minutes.
No, 59 seconds.
59 seconds.
Then Toastmaster Srinivas, he took 1 minute 35 seconds. Vinakshi took 2 minutes 21 seconds.
2 minutes, 21 seconds.
Yes. New guest Parliamentary took 1 minute 46 seconds.
1 minute 46.
Then Toastmaster Virendra took 1 minute 7 seconds.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We like yeah. So enough of that. Let us break. All of them qualify for the except Hussain, others qualify for voting slips. You will see the voting slips. You can go to the best table topic speaker. And we'll be back by
Now we are beginning with the last session of the meeting, that is called the evaluation session. Before starting with this particular session, I would like to give you next personal experience on mathematics. First year in college, first Valentine, I went and master foundation. I was preparing for the next Valentine, very excited. I went with a girl who was very beautiful in our class. But again, no experience of evaluation, what to say. And I started evaluating her. Nice lipstick. Which brand? Nice nail polish. Which brand? And then I started comparing with the other girl. I said, it looks good, but if you have put this particular nail polish, it would have taken you to the next level. In the evaluation session, we also call it as a sandwich method. And the evaluators first brings out what they like about the speech, and then what are the areas of the improvement, and again conclude with what are the good parts. To conduct evaluation session, we have the general evaluator, Toastmaster Jansi, who is doing her evaluation for the first time. When I asked Toastmaster Jansi what does Valentine Day means to you, she said, Valentine's means a special day to show you care. Please welcome Toastmaster Jansi for the
Very good evening to all of us.
Good evening.
All of us basically fall into three categories. One of those who've either been married long enough and have non-demanding spouses. Three, the spouses who are probably happy that you're out for 2-3 hours. The others, of course, who don't believe in Valentine's Day because every day is a day to show your love. And third, of course, people who pretend that they do not like Valentine's Day. So here I welcome you all to the third section of today's meeting, which is the evaluation round. The evaluation is going to be of the prepared speeches that we have here. We have a couple of evaluators who will give their suggestions and their inputs. Evaluation in general, in our life also, is one way of, yes, you evaluate yourself. Two, you get feedback from someone else. It's a way of for your own inward growth. And it is with this objective in mind that we have a few evaluators. I'd like to call upon our first evaluator for today, for whom Valentine's Day, when I asked her what does Valentine's Day mean to you, she said diamond ring and teddy bear. So that got me thinking, and I asked her, do you want that? Have you not got that? So she said, no, it just means teddy bear and the diamond ring, one which is stylish and the other which lasts forever. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Pratibha.
Good evening. Happy Valentine's Day. Stick to your task till your task is clean. Beginners are few. Beginners are many, but enders are few. Generally, when I talk about fellow Toastmasters and guests, and especially Speaker Amico. Congress for choosing the relevant subject. We are in the first quarter of the year, Jan to March, when we are remembering our broken promises. And especially, he remembered his broken promises on the Valentine days, when thousands of people will be making and breaking the promises outside. The opening was really captured. I will say, the opening made the speech salutation because audience were hooked to the subject and they were engrossed, involved in the subject so much that till last we were just listening and remembering our broken promises and the resolutions where we have not worked. From opening to body, our transition number 1 in the speech was so smooth where I liked 3 points about this transition. He informed us about our Toastmaster Atul's activity on these resolutions, which we did in the first week of sincere effort on your part. And voice was the sentences were small, and so it hooked the audiences till the last. What I feel, organization of the speech was logical. You told us, you inspired us to think about the resolutions once more in the life. And now, the second part, the middle part, I will say that some changes were required. Changes, eye contact, you should have done the eye contact right from this end to that end, which slightly was not there. And second recommendation, I will say use of stage. The stage was here, and your transition from one point to the second point was so nice, so the flow was nice. Only thing, the body language and the use of stage would have made it more effective. The third thing I would like to say that it was a really very good speech, and there the flow was nice. Use of stage you should have improved a little bit, and the subject matter was very nice. I really like the way you put the things forward first, and I'm looking forward to the next thing. Thank you. Over to you.
For the benefits of those who attend this meeting for the first time, Toastmasters in general, any club that you go to, normally provides you a very encouraging atmosphere wherein you get to learn, you get to make mistakes and not be laughed at. In fact, you are encouraged rather to make mistakes and only learn from them. So that's the main purpose of the entire evaluation section also. And the part that I like about being the general evaluator is that I don't have to look at the timer and see what cards he's actually drawing down each time. Moving on to our next evaluation, to evaluate Toastmaster Nivedita's speech, we have a Toastmaster whom when I asked, is Valentine's Day alright? He said, the day is lovely, absolutely wonderful, but yes, it's an over-marketed or rather rightly marketed way of putting in the entire Valentine's Day. So please put your hands together for Toastmasters.
Made in heaven. What an apt subject. You have a speech on 14th February, a Valentine's Day. We are all looking at this pleasant day where most of us are planning a dinner with our loved ones. And this has really touched a string in my heart, because I had the same queries that Nivedita has expressed in her speech. She expressed the subject of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, their relationship. And is marriage really necessary? Does that piece of certificate really make any difference if you're in love? And she has also pointed out the change in the attitude of new generation and how they have a living relationship and they really want to know each other better rather than believe in the concept of marriage. What I liked about Nivedita's speech was the way she has enhanced her speech with humor. She went on to ask a question, what happens when people get married? And Manish breaks out in a smile and the humor resonates throughout this room. So that humor, that tinge of humor really made a lot of difference and people really wanted to know what happens after marriage. And then she gets into those details. She says that you don't really need a ritual for marriage. Do we? So raising a lot of beautiful words like dance of marriage, using words like soulless, loveless marriage, successful single parents of children, and modern maiden. She really used such beautiful words to express her feelings and how the new generation has moved on to a new concept and not believing in the sanctity of marriage. And the other thing that I liked about her is that she has compared the Bollywood life and the current life most important part was she gave us a question at the end of the speech. Will marriage concept survive? Or is it like the dinosaur, which was extinct and is no more? Will marriage really survive these times of modernization? And it really plays an important role for all of us to ask ourselves, are we really believing in the sanctity of marriage? The other point is, she raised, I would like to point out that she has some things which she needs to improve. Her body language, she has to use the stage from that end to this. And of course, the eye contact and the vocal variety. So I would leave it to that, and I hope that the next speech would be much better than this. Thank you very much, Nivedita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Usman. Now from a match made in heaven where we're actually questioning whether the match is needed, we move on to another speaker who spoke about the changing times and how we getting shocks or other culture shocks each time we come across something new that we have learning from kids. So to evaluate Toastmaster Manish's speech, we have our next Toastmaster who avoids going to restaurants and busy places during Valentine's Day, not with the fear of having to bump into his ex, but probably it's too crowded to have peaceful time. So please put it together for Toastmaster and
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my very dear Amit sir. Toastmaster Manish really proved the point that was made earlier in the meeting. Most important and delightful woman in a married man's life is evidently not his wife, but the apple of his eye, his daughter. Thank you very much for making me look forward to one aspect of marriage. So the other one was entirely discouraging earlier. Toastmaster Manish began very beautifully with this declaration of his daughter's wish for a birthday, a theme for a birthday. And instead of directly taking us to important times and wishes of children today, he very beautifully took us into this time capsule. He very nicely created this concept of a time capsule and took us through the various stages of his life and how they compare with his daughter's life. I think that is very beautifully done. So you spoke about Bhakali, Mala, and Vishnu about Kips Bhakali. You spoke about a lot of things in terms of how celebrities were to us in that day and how celebrities were to your daughter now in terms of how she knows Manishka, etc. So I think that is very beautifully compared. The other thing that I really liked was that you used the concept of how communication is different. And while that's very cliche, what the speaker did very nicely was he brought in the props to actually demonstrate how communication has evolved over time. So he didn't just bring in the concept of a telephone versus a mobile phone, he actually showed how the telephone itself has evolved in looks and in how we use it. There were various nuances of how we used to use the telephone there. So the STD call, the trunk call, the lightning call, etc. And then very nice subtle notes of the delay during monsoon. I think that was very, very beautifully done. Also, what I liked about what the speaker did in today's speech was he used language very often. So the arrangement of words, which is one of the requirements of the speech, was very nicely done. So all in all, a very nice, effective way of using words. And the gestures the speaker used were very, very often. They weren't over the top. So the end wasn't serving the means served the end. The way he rolled his eyes for a moment, the way he used his hand gestures to actually point out his daughter's journey from school to home and how he actually knows what she has to do for homework by the time even before she reaches home thanks to WhatsApp. So all this is very beautifully done in a very subtle way of delivering the body language speech, but actually somebody can go over the top. So what I really want to recommend to the speaker in terms of builds is, yes, while he used gestures very nicely and optimally, what he could have done is probably use gestures in certain areas where gestures would have merited some difference. So for example, talking about WhatsApp, the entire need of parents to start WhatsApping the videos of the children's function. Maybe you could have mind that. Maybe when you were talking about your daughter, you could have actually mind her speaking. So So some of these things could have been brought in, but all in all, I think it was a brilliant speech. You actually brought in a very subtle way of using body language, entertain, and deliver the message of the speech while using your body aptly to aid the speech. So great effort, and I look forward to your further speech.
Now moving on to P5, we went to an advanced group with a speech here. We had a discussion which was very well participated by members present in this room, and for the evaluation, I call upon our next Toastmaster who feels Valentine's Day is about wishing and remembering love and romance.
Before the timer begins, I would like to clarify that we Toastmasters celebrate Valentine's Day in the morning and we come in the evening for the meeting. Good evening. New York Mayor during 9/11 he said that the only way to solve a problem is to confront it. That's what Toastmasters Sierra did today. By being very neutral about it and steering the entire discussion aimed at solving the problem. The topic was very close to my heart, and I'm fortunate that I'm evaluating a topic as I was the culprit, the president and my team who brought the whole entire Toastmaster venue to this venue from Mahim. And we were paying some 1,500 rupees at that time to go down. So anyway, that's a different topic. But the main purpose of this discussion was about cutting costs, which Toastmaster explained very well to the audience. The audience asked questions and she answered those questions. After that, she told us about the 3 solutions which were already identified in the earlier half of the discussion which we had in the last meeting, which were increasing fees, alternate value, speech craft, and she left the forum open to the members, and the member also gave the suggestions which she handled very well. After that, she had the voting, and after that we reached to a decision. So the entire discussion led to a decision which was, I hate to say the same decision that I had taken that time. Anyway, the suggestions I would like to offer Sienna was, when you present the objective of cutting costs to the audience, you have to explain the purpose behind cutting costs. Identify the causes. Why are we cutting costs? There are some the purpose of cutting costs is why is there a problem, members are not paying, or we can't afford the venue fee, something like that. After that, when she leaves the forum open to the members, she should ensure that not only members who are voicing their opinions are spoken to. There are other members also who are not speaking. She should maybe bound the questions of those members who are not presenting. Maybe same questions. She has ample time to do that 90 to 23 minutes. She should utilize that time to get proper consensus on the problem. Even the facility given over here is you are allowed to have 2 or 3 more options than just one option. And you can appoint a facilitator who will then tally the options given by the audience and then come to a conclusion. It's a little tedious process, but that can be done. And as usual, Sienna in a beautiful, gentle way handled the entire discussion. And as always, the problem falls flat on its face when Sienna smiles. So, but I urge Sienna to hold the problem by the throat, shake it, go to the audience, move around, ask them, talk directly to their face, instead of just standing over here and smiling gently, and take the discussion, shake it, and then come to a conclusion after the entire consensus. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Please call the time.
So the time taken by the evaluators, I am just reading it now. Pratibha took 4 minutes, 25 seconds. Then Toastmaster Rizwan, he took 3 minutes, 32 seconds. Toastmaster Natarajan, he took 3 minutes,
be filled out of speech evaluator because we just have one qualification here. And now may I please call upon the R counter for his R counter report.
If I misspell your name, just don't be hard on me. Okay. Toastmaster has seen two long, short pauses. Toastmaster Rahul Tush A. Toastmaster Amir Kumar. One so and two times repeated words. Toastmaster Manish. One A and one short pause. And Toastmaster Nevedita. Two short pauses and 5 repeated words. Toastmaster Siana 4A. Toastmaster 2 no errors. Toastmaster Anand Kumar no errors. Toastmaster Hussein no errors. Toastmaster Srinivas 2 repeated words. Toastmaster she's not Toastmaster. Minash. Yes. That's right. 2 speech. 1 so, 1 well. 4 you know. And 1 and. 6 here. And 2 long quotes. Toastmaster Jansi, no, there is no errors. Toastmaster Pratibha, no errors. Sorry, Pratibha is 1 error. And 5 repeated words. Toastmaster is 1, there is no errors. Toastmaster Natrajan, 2 and so. And 1 etc. And 2 repeated words. Toastmaster Barak, 2A, and 1 short pause. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Andre. And for all the ifs and buts that were used incorrectly, we have our grammarian who will give us the grammarian report. Please welcome Toastmaster.
There were some parts of the speech which I thought let me copy paste entirely, but I couldn't do. So some good usage of language. Dance of marriage is fast. Stings and arrows of soulless marriage. False fears of society. Wake up and smell coffee. Hand in shame. Aerobic exercise put to rhythm. Weird, wired world. There were a couple of not so good usage of language. Do not wanted to can be used as did not want to. I will like to should be I would like to. One resolutions could be one resolution. God of the day usage, the presiding officer Rasmin used it, Nivedita, Anand and Pratibha. Some errors in pronunciation. Beloved can be pronounced as beloved. Resolution was not correctly pronounced. Then violet was pronounced violet and ambience should have been pronounced as ambience. That's it.
And now for my general evaluation of today's meeting. Well, the meeting definitely started on time, so kudos to our Sergeant at Arms who very promptly at the stroke of 6 began the clapping and got everybody's attention and began with the meeting. After which we had, before the meeting in fact, we had the standees put up, we had the board which was absolutely ready and well prepared, so that definitely shows the signal that we were well prepared for the meeting. Yes, I think there were some last minute hiccups in terms of the rules and some people backing out and assigning some rules, but I think to a large extent it's supposed to be avoidable, but then so we can't really help it considering the day also. After which the VP Education gave a very crisp opening to today's meeting, inducted the new members, awarded the competent communicator certificate, invited guests, so all of that entire section was done very crisply. The Toastmaster of the day, and I think the team for today definitely had done a The table topics master, in his usual and enigmatic style, delivered the table topics round that we had here. With his own uniqueness and charm, he very well synced with the theme for today. One small input which I had is that the purpose of the table topic is also to assess the listening ability of those participants who are coming here, and the purpose of actually repeating the questions twice is for that. But since we had it open here, while the idea was good and innovative that we had it on the laptop, leaving the question open there for the speaker to see, it didn't allow us to assess that particular point in table topics. Another good thing which came across in the table topic round is names were written almost immediately. So what I have observed in previous meetings, and I've also fallen victim to that, is normally when there is a table topic master, it gets very clumsy actually writing down the person's name while the person is standing here and speaking here. So I actually appreciated him taking down the names later. I think the timer did that for him, writing it on the board. So that was one good thing that happened, or else I think we have to find a way of avoiding that clumsiness which normally comes across. Apart from that, when it comes to the evaluation section, just one common input in terms of, and this is something that I would personally also appreciate if I were a speaker, and this happened to me on one or two occasions which I really liked. When you are there as a speaker and you're given some recommendations in terms of you could have done this and you could have done that, I think one or two examples showing how this particular statement could have been said in a better way will allow the speaker to think of it or realize the impact that that suggestion can make. So this is one small input that I have for future evaluators also. If you buy that, I'm sure I think the speakers will like that getting included in their evaluation. Overall, the table topics, the hour counter did his job in terms of catching the hours and hours. Also stepped in the last moment that we had for the vacancy for an hour counter. We had the timer also playing his role, and the grammarian also noting down most of the things. I think maybe probably a more detailed report in terms of each speaker would also help overall to the entire club. Overall, I think the meeting we are just on time, so I think we are paying extra for the 8 to 9 o'clock this time also. But overall, I think the meeting went very smooth. We had less count of members today. You probably know the reason why. But despite that, I think the meeting went very smoothly, and it was a well-conducted meeting for us. So over to the Toastmaster today.
They say that chocolates are sweet, but the taste doesn't last. Flowers are bright, but their fragrance is short. Cards are great, but their life is short. True love is the best because it lasts till you rest. With this, I will wish all of you a very happy Valentine's Day, and I will hand over the control to the presiding officer, Mr. Hasnain Chalni.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. You have these slips, there's one little task left for you to do. You have to choose from the big three, that is Toastmaster of the day, Table Topics Master, and General Evaluator, who you felt best to serve that role. And then please fill the slips and pass it down to the right person sitting in the corner, will collect it and give it to While the words are being counted, I'll do a bit of copy pasting. I came across a wonderful article on WhatsApp which is quite relevant, I think, to the next meeting that we're going to hold at Bombay Toastmasters. And I will quote this. Whenever I am feeling a little down or wondering at my spot in life, I cannot help but recollect the story of little Jamie. Little Jamie had set his heart on trying and getting a part in the school play. He really desperately wanted that part, although his mother had her doubts about his actually being able to land it. On the day that the parts were to be announced, I accompanied little Jamie's mother to school to fetch him back home. As soon as he spied his mother, he came out running and he shouted, his voice full of enthusiasm, "Guess what, Mama? I got selected!" And what he said after that will remain with me for the rest of my life. He said, "I got selected to play the role of clapper and cheerer." Fellow Toastmasters, that is the innocence of childhood. Where has our innocence gone? When did we stop cheering for our fellow Toastmasters and started wondering and hoping only for our success? At Toastmasters, this is something that has to come naturally to us. Next meeting, we are having our contest for the International Speech Contest and the Table Topics Contest. And I want all of you who are not participating to contribute by coming here, clapping and cheering all the participants, encouraging them to give off their best. It takes guts. It takes real courage to stand at the start line. It takes persistence, perseverance, a lot of perspirations to go the distance. And it takes great moral character to fail and learn from your mistakes. So can we do that for our fellow Toastmasters? Can we cheer them on? Can we ensure that the best speaker from our club stands to represent us at the area, then Touchwood at the division, and then at the district? Can we do that? Can I hear a yes? Thank you very much. And now, I think the results are ready to go there now. So that gives me an opportunity to call upon one or two guests who we've not had the good fortune of hearing today. May I call upon you, madam, to come up here and tell us what you found bad about the meeting or good about this meeting.
I'm Sangeeta Sharma, Mansi Vajpayee. She is a Toastmaster of this club. She introduced me in this club. I heard 40 is naughty age, but I am at 50, just wanted to be sit in the classroom and just to get cheer up with people like you. And I believe whenever you meet with the people, interact with anyone, you learn something. So I'm at my learning stage. My journey has started in a new era from today only. Thank you all the Toastmasters giving me such opportunity.
Please.
Hello everybody, my name is Krishnavati. I have come here with the reference of one of my colleagues. His name is Shruti. So the background which he gave me about the club and what I experienced today was exactly the same one which he had given me on that day. And I have many more expectations from the club and I'm actually planning to join the club from the next session onwards. Thank you.
The results are still not done yet. It must be a close race. So let me take this moment to inform you that the chief coordinator for the contest is Toastmaster Neerav, who has put his hand up and taken on the onerous responsibility. A big round of applause for him. Yes, Toastmaster.
You may want to announce about the oration. People, those who have not registered.
Yes.
Because we are only 22 of us have registered from Bombay Toastmasters.
Just 22 from Bombay Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Bombay Toastmasters has a strength today of 56 members, right? All 56. Can I ask Atul to spend 2 minutes and tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So Oration 2015 is a international speech contest we have to experience in Mumbai from 15 to 17th of May. And fortunately, it's in Mumbai, so it's coming after 5 years. So those who have not registered, please go to oration2015.com. The registrations are not yet open, but please keep watching the page for registration and register yourself, because it's going to be once a lifetime opportunity to attend such conference here in Mumbai. We already crossed 450 registrations and we are expecting to reach around 1,000. So we are going to have, I hope you all know the venue. The venue changed from Garware to my beach of 101. So let's give all India a taste of what Mumbai is all about. So looking forward for your support.
When is the registration opening in IT?
Very soon.
And what's the charge now?
That also you do. Right now it is.
For guests also.
Any weekend register. But the sooner the better. Because we may have limited seats. Thank you.
We have a Facebook page for Operation 2015, so if you all monitor that page, you will get notification on that registration tab. So make the most of this opportunity.
The people like Atul, Manish, Virendra who are working full time on, and Anand of course, who are working full. Anand is working full time on everything to do with the university. So on the best view, we know that this is going to be a fantastic success. All right, we've got the results out. So who do you think is the best prepared speaker according to the votes? Only one? Okay, Manish.
Hands are aching.
That's what you get.
Thank you.
Yes, table topics, speaker. It's Toastmaster Anand. Best of league three. Atul.
Rahul. Jansi.
Okay, there are only three people. It's Jansi. With that, we come to the conclusion of meeting number 170. Thank you all very much. I, for one, really enjoyed it. I hope you all did too. See you all again.